It's Friday.
It's Friday.
And we all know what that means. Yeah. It's the day before Saturday.
Yeah.
And the day after Thursday.
Frank, what do you got going on over here?
I'm looking at some books that came in that are just always so cool to get, right? They just walked in the door. I don't know that the monetary value is all crazy for them, but what cool stuff. In the 70s, 76, Marvel did the Treasury specials.
I love them.
And you got the camera?
Yeah, camera's on. We'll get a text right now. I might try and do that. Yeah. All right. So, camera's on.
Camera's on. We're going to just zip through the titles because we really want to get to Andrew real quick.
Well, no, yeah, debut of Machine Man.
Debut of Machine Man.
Yeah. Nice
call. I was just... Man, cut right in, didn't you, man?
It's nice to have, our guy here.
We got Doctor Strange. The nice thing about these tend to usually be in really poor condition.
Yeah, because they're big.
And kids had them,
right.
And they colored in them, and a lot of stuff.
They don't fit in comic boxes.
They don't fit in comic boxes, so they ended up getting beat. So you either find them really nice condition or really bad condition.
Yep.
There's kind of no in between. But let's roll through this. We got another. You got to remember that's the Ferrigno era. Hulk was one of the biggies. Got Fantastic Four.
Also one of the biggies.
Thor, exactly. Some history here. Spider-Man versus Superman. First time that DC and Marvel got together. I'm not sure which one came first.
Superman would kick the living daylights out of Spider-Man.
Chuck
J.
It is what it is.
Not if you had kryptonite.
Yeah, not if you had
Kryptonite webs. Okay, all right. Yeah, I guess you have to read the story.
Now, this book's interesting because not only does it...
It's 76 it's got to be.
It's 76. It celebrated our bicentennial, which I grew up in that era. It was a big deal.
Yep.
Jack Kirby King Size Special. How could you go wrong for $1.50? There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Now, Frank, really quick bit of
Sally?
Question about the format of these books. Were some of them ever reprints made bigger, or were they all original stories?
A lot of them have. Like this Kirby one has a lot of reprinted stuff.
But there
was exclusive content, and then they would throw extra stuff in the back to fill the pages up. And also because they didn't have to pay the artist again.
Yeah.
Gotta love Marvel.
Or, ever, but whatever.
Or ever, right. Yeah. This book's interesting. I've never seen this Treasury edition.
Is Daredevil 1 for sale yet? Asking for a friend. AJ asked that. We are waiting. That's going to get graded, right?
Getting graded, AJ. That's why we have no money.
That's not true.
No, just kidding.
Tell your friend. Next book.
We don't have any money because we were buying all these great Treasury books.
We're buying these Treasury books. This book's really cool. I've never seen this one. Warlock with the whole Thanos theme line coming up. I got a feeling this is a good one. I haven't looked any of these up yet.
That's classic Warlock.
That's pretty classic stuff.
That's before the emo road.
Man, these are some pretty nice shape on these.
Really nice shape, man. Look at this cover, man. My instincts tell me it's got. See, now this is. I can tell you. I was going to say this might be Romita, but it's different artist. And they collaged it.
Brian just asked us a question. Awesome books. Any tips on how to store these books? They do make a bag for them. I don't know if they make boards.
Well, they make a bag. If you look at these, the guy had them. The collector had them. They all turned yellow.
Yeah.
So we are going to look into that, and we'll see if we can get back.
They definitely make them.
Andrew's going to look into that and see if we can get Treasury bags.
Yeah.
So we'll get back to them, right?
If they don't make boards, you can always cut your own.
Yeah. I can't imagine that they really need boards if you just stack them flat.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Here's a really cool one. They did the team ups, which I got a feeling is reprints. A lot of the team up.
You know more about me than this is
classic Don Heck or Jack Kirby cover. Really, Justin's dead on. Look at the condition of these books.
You never see them this nice, man.
No, really nice. Here's a really cool one, huh? Spider-Man versus the Hulk at the Winter Olympics.
Wow.
Boy,
before Sonic and Mario.
That looks like the agony of defeat right there.
Yeah, I have a feeling. I have a feeling. That's not a real high.
Oh, hey, classic Betty Ross as was it the Harpy?
Harpy, yeah,
Betty
the Harpy. And we know what that build-a-figure is, right?
Yeah.
Before she was Red She-Hulk, she was the Harpy.
I keep getting texted.
I'm really surprised no one has tried to combine.
Yes, my text notification is the G.I. Joe. We will be right back after these messages.
Here's my question. Why do you think it... How come people haven't combined... She's Red She-Hulk now.
Yeah.
She was Harpy before. Why haven't they made the Red Harpy?
I don't know.
They will. Marvel's paying attention to you.
Hey, Marvel Legends. Great Build-A-Figure. By Beast would be an awesome.
Well, there's a mold for it.
Well, but where's your finger? Exactly.
They think people aren't going to care enough about By Beast. So we have another Juggernaut.
Listen, they've done some deep cuts with Marvel Legends Build-A-Figures. Oh, Johnny, okay.
Another.
I'll tell you what Hasbro's
Wow, dude.
You're ruining the video.
Another.
There's a lot of good Hulk in here. What a cool cover.
We know why, right?
He's rampaging in this?
Well, that's Hulk vs. Storm.
Hulk versus the Sharknado.
I don't get it.
It looks
See,
like,
there's lightning.
Oh, I'm looking at the rampaging.
He's looking at the
Hulk.
rampaging.
Oh.
Yeah, they actually did a magazine called Rampaging Hulk. I don't know why they, I could see Stan going, let's make him rampaging.
He's done being
What's on now?
That's on
Put
now.
it with Hulk.
Yeah, we've used every other word. He's incredible. He's rampaging. The reason there's a lot of Hulks is one big reason. Ferrigno, the show, was at its peak.
When these were coming
When
out.
these were coming out.
All right.
Mid-70s. Oh, man, we were just having phone problems.
Pat Moore had the issue with the By Beast. Conan. All right, now we're getting somewhere.
Now we're getting somewhere. Call you back, wife. Call you back.
Look at that art. Wait. Look at that art, dude.
This is Conan. Height of his popularity, 75
I
with Marvel.
I love this.
And that's why Barry Smith is considered one of the definitive artists of the Marvel era with Conan. We want to talk about this. A lot of guys say he drew Conan too skinny. What they don't realize is that from 124, when Barry was there, from 70 to 73, 74, Conan was supposed to be 14 and 15.
So show me that picture of the 14-year-old on a pile of bodies.
Yeah, there's your 16-year-old Conan. And we're gonna actually open up the book and we're gonna show that. Look, you say what you want about Barry's art. Is that insane?
It's awesome.
I mean, that is, really and here's a picture of Barry, aka Jesus Christ Superstar.
Wow.
Right? But yeah, if you look, Conan's not defined. What was really cool about Conan, and he got lucky, issue 25, Buscema takes over. He pumps him up into the Arnold Conan that we know and love today. And you get a 25, 30-year-old Conan, which made sense.
Right.
The book just happened. Here's a nice store cover, classic Rainbow Bridge.
God, conditions.
Yeah, really nice
That's
stuff.
popping, man.
Andrew, I'm looking in these, and I'm seeing, like what Andrew said, a lot of reprints. Man, Jack Kirby is the king.
But here's the other thing: these weren't made for collectors.
These were made for kids.
These were made for kids. These were made for Aunt Sally, who's like, I don't know what my nephew likes. I just know he likes Thor and Hulk.
Right.
So give me something that's Thor and Hulk.
You gotta remember, you handed your 6-year-old this book and a pack of crayons, and they had a blast. A lot of them. You got to look in for. There's a lot of crown. Here's a DC one that popped in. Which is kind of cool. We only had a couple so far. But what's really cool about this, I always thought, was they gave you a diorama to cut out.
Oh, wow.
So the kid actually, it was an interactive 3D diorama with the Justice League and the villains.
That's really cool.
And as a 5-year-old or 6-year-old or 10-year-old.
I would love that.
I would have messed that all up. I would have tried cutting it out and just ripped
And
it
just
apart.
tore it
Speaking
up.
of something I would have loved, this is actually from my childhood. I actually got this from a relative. I don't remember. It was either a grandparent or this.
Which is, let's tell them, it's Batman
versus the Hulk.
Which is really
Who wins, guys? Who wins?
It really seems like an awful.
Well, I mean, he's Superman.
You know how he subdues the Hulk?
Let's hear it.
He makes him eat a grenade. And
does that knock him out?
It's like a special grenade. It doesn't. Well, okay. They have multiple fights. I think when they first fight, Hulk wins. Second fight, I think Batman wins. And then
if Hulk just touches him.
Joker gets in contact with the Shaper of Worlds.
Wow, look at that art, though. Who's the artist on this?
Well, I don't remember the
Wow,
artist.
that's cool.
That's a Len Wein script.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a Len Wein script and a Lopez, Jose Lopez, who I'm not familiar with.
Oh, no, huge Justice League artist.
Well,
Huge
look
Justice
at
League
that.
artist.
Really good stuff.
One of
man.
my dad's favorites.
Yeah?
Big satellite.
See, I was never a DC guy.
Okay,
so look at that. Man.
Wow.
Well, that's a name from
Good shit, man.
Yeah, man.
He's a big satellite era Denny O'Neil.
Was this when is this? Is this Trimpy era Hulk?
Yes.
So he's
Wolverine's.
He's drawing Hulk better than Trimpy, the Marvel guy is drawing.
I draw Hulk better than Trimpy, but
all love to Herb. I mean, he's the first guy to ever draw Wolverine. He did my G.I. Joes and all that, but
we'll go with
Jose Garcia
Lopez.
Well, he didn't. You misspelled it, Pat. It's all right. You had the issue with Hulk and By Beast. Pat had the issue with Hulk and By Beast.
Oh, really? Yep. Cool. One of my favorite and one of the most underrated comic books of the 70s, Master Kung Fu. He was blessed with a string of fantastic artists, Gene Day, I'm trying to think of some of the other guys. See, look, you see writing in these a lot.
Didn't Hama get on Buster Kung Fu at one point?
Well,
Or
this
was
is
that Iron
actually
Hammond did Iron Fist for a little bit.
yeah.
It was Iron Fist.
Yeah.
What's the guy's? It was Chan. Chan. Early Marvel. Chan. Early guy, but throughout his career, Mike Zeck did some of the great covers of the era.
Oh, wait, the character, Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, Master Kung Fu.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
But yeah, Zeck and was a great artist. A lot of people don't read this stuff. It was hot. It came off the Bruce Lee stuff. Era. That's what motivated this comic. You're missing out on some of the great stuff.
Pat just laid it down. My bad. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
And we're gonna go. I'm gonna make a quick jump because these are some doubles. But how cool was that? Superman versus Flash,
Running.
a race around the world.
Yeah.
Which was a theme that they did several times. Every one of those books has a collector's interest. It's a cool concept.
Yeah.
It's a really cool
Which,
concept.
depending on who is writing it, is going to decide the answer.
Right. Look at, man, just good art.
Oh,
man.
somebody did the damn
Yeah, which is why you got. I know. Damn kids.
We're not sending that to CGC.
Yeah.
Who would win?
So that's it, man.
Who do you think would win?
I'm a Flash guy.
Flash.
I would have went with Flash just because the fastest man on Earth, you know.
Well,
Superman's would fly fast.
So I got crap on for years for in my youth thinking Jeff Johns was the greatest writer of all time. When he in one of my favorite Jeff Johns stories from back before, I kind of anyway I had a falling out of sorts. Flash Rebirth. He did his answer to the story, which was that Flash is faster, and Flash was basically like humoring Superman during those races.
Yeah, I could see that.
And that he's like Clark, those were for charity, and then he zooms like further than Superman can even see.
Right.
Well, that makes sense. Why the Flash is the fastest man
guy
on Earth.
Yeah.
So why have somebody fast? Even though Superman's not from Earth, why have somebody faster? His superpower is being fast. Don't make somebody faster than him.
No, but those books were written for 10-year-olds, and you can see why you want to read it.
They just overpowered Superman over and over and over and over.
Oh, you mean like juggling planets?
This same collection had some other neat stuff. We were lucky because of all the books to be in there. We got the first appearance of Carnage. It's a very hot book right now. A lot of interest in this, and this is a 3-parter. His first appearance, second appearance, and third appearance. I think
all first
prints. We actually, this particular collector was a big Carnage guy, and he's got the second print, which doesn't bring a lot of money, but it's always nice if you want to read it. Great cover.
Yeah.
The fact that the first cover and reprint are different covers.
Well, I dig that they did that in the 90s.
I like that.
Yeah. I don't have to go dig in, look at dates in the inside or how many, prints this is.
Right. The nice part about this is the condition. These books are in really, near mint condition. They won't be here long.
You have another special thing, something very near and dear to your heart.
Something very lastly, but not a big deal.
Certainly.
You'll see these on the stand in newsstand. You can still go down to Borders or that type of place and buy a
It
soft
sells
back
over and over.
Considered arguably, in my opinion, the greatest Batman story ever written. Miller at the height of his prowess.
Yeah.
Klaus Janson inking him. The writing is bar none. It is. We never thought of Batman like this till this book.
Yes.
I'm going to show you the first front and back. There's a nice 80 shot of Miller, a young Frank Miller. But the big deal about this book was that it's been reprinted. I wouldn't say into the 20s or 30 prints. This is an original soft back.
Was it originally printed in hard?
Or hard and soft, and for
premium
four
single issues,
yeah. Which were what was it? Collector premium
format.
Premium format.
Did the singles come out before the hardcover?
Yes.
Or? Okay.
Yeah, and then
I have the 4 singles.
Yeah. They're
look at you.
And they've been reprinted.
I have.
Yeah. Well, here's the big thing, and I couldn't get it then, and it's really through the roof from what I understand now. At the time of the release of the book, Miller did a limited edition hardcover where he sketched in the book, 1 of 50, and actually sketched in them and numbered them. And I tried really hard. The book went from like $100 pre-order book to $600. And for a guy in college who was making donuts, it wasn't working out real well. But this is a first print.
Yeah.
A first print softback. This is from the 80s, 86, 87. And you get a lot of these in. They're always late prints. Like Killing Joke, it's been reprinted so many times to get a first print is a big deal. A mint first print graded does a couple $100. This is not. This is probably about a $40 or $50 book.
Okay.
So
cool.
And this was the best book in the lot by far. So we're gonna switch over to Andrew.
Well, so actually, if you wanted to continue pimping, I actually wanted to do something really, really quick about this like collection of loose figures that we got.
Andrew's playing with toys.
Because you can pay me to play with toys. I was literally posing the cabinets.
You were.
But yeah, no, these are some great,
Frank's going to grade you on your posing as well.
I know he is. He always did. Are you kidding me?
Good.
Some DC Universe classics, my favorite DC line, some DC directs. I never played with this Black Manta before. It did something really interesting. Instead of using another black, like they used a dark blue to like stand in as a different shade of black.
Well, just like in comics, they use blue to highlight black. Yeah,
and black.
You'll see that with black Spider-Man a lot.
Yep.
He'll have blue highlights.
I've never seen it on a Black Manta figure before. I've always seen straight black.
I don't collect DC figures. So
okay, so
nobody does.
That was in that. Yeah, he sent me. And I was explaining to Justin the character of Mash, who he has 3 personalities, 2 of which are a serial killer, and 1 is in perpetual pain of his other serial killer halves. So interesting. That's why that's screaming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the other one looks like it's screaming too.
No, but that's screaming and like, haha, I did something bad. Like, see, they're like happy screams, whereas that one is like
sad.
Sad.
They all look like tormented screams to me.
Yeah,
all right. Well, let's teach her. But yeah.
So Andrew, it's Fridays with Andrew.
Fridays with Andrew.
So
the shilling is done.
Okay.
You want to shilling? We're just talking about being excited. No, leave that there.
Oh, you want to leave that there? Okay.
No, I love it. It's like I love DC figures. All right, so and then also there's a Left 4 Dead figure. But yeah, we have so speaking of DC, an ongoing Fridays with Andrew theme is we've been experiencing the 7 weeks of DC domination. For 7 weeks, my 3 picks of the week had include 1 DC comic, and today I'm happy to say they've been dethroned. Well, not happy, but I'm reporting DC Comics has been dethroned from Friday with Andrew C.
This is the first time in 8 Fridays with Andrew.
8 Fridays with Andrew.
There's not a DC book in this. I don't think there's been a Marvel book in 8 weeks either.
You weren't there for it.
Oh.
It was Rogan Gambit.
Yeah, I'm often not here. I'm off.
Rogan Gambit #1.
Yeah, well, I'm
okay.
Which is still fantastic. That was one of my first of 2018.
Yeah?
It was a fantastic title.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so we have no Marvel title today. It's all indie today. Today's an indie Fridays with Andrew. So we have, we talked about biases last week. Transformers Lost Light #13. Subscriber cover because I love Nick Roach. Abbott #1.
Hey, Abbott!
Hey, Abbott! And then, we were talking about my new position at You Don't Read Comics last time. I actually reviewed this for them. Moonstruck #5.
Oh, God, does that look awful.
All right. Thank you, Frank.
I'm sorry.
I give it a B+. All right. Online.
What's the retail on that?
$3.99.
Okay. Just asking.
All right, great.
I'm okay.
Why don't we jump into this?
No. Let's jump into Moonstruck.
Oh, yeah, we're jumping into
Does Cher make appearance?
See, all right. I don't know if I've never seen them talk about it. I have not seen them mention it. Like, I don't know. The reason it's that is, so Moonstruck takes place in a fictionalized 2018, I forgot what year we were in, featuring like supernatural young 20-somethings. Yeah. The idea behind that is it's basically just sort of a slice of life 20-something drama, except they're supernatural characters. Now that might sound cliched or trite.
What number is that?
5 is the first the finale of the first story arc, which involved that is Julie the werewolf and her girlfriend Selena, and the evil, he's a street magician who is secretly stealing supernatural creatures' magical essences.
David Blaine.
So that is evil Foxhead David Blaine.
Okay. Now, when you say girlfriend or
girlfriend?
Dating girlfriend. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Show me some...
It's a bit of a modern...
What they're up for.
So a lot of the themes that I really like the first story arc. There was a lot of Julie is basically this sort of anxiety-ridden werewolf who hates being a werewolf. She reads this. They're kind of like the Hardy Boys. They're called the Pleasant Mountain Sister books. She loves them, and she basically looks to them for the normalcy that her werewolf existence doesn't give her.
No, I'm trying to see the art.
Oh, sure. Well, this is the regular art.
Well, I like that.
But then, when she's reading her book, it's
because that's
the
a la
book, okay.
Watchmen.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so
really, it looks airbrushed almost.
I think it's like a painted quality.
Painted quality. On
I love
the
it.
computer,
That's Shay
obviously.
Beagle. She's another newcomer. She and writer Grace Ellis actually went to college together. They pitched this in like a college anthology.
I wonder if she's related to Warren.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's common misconception. I tried to think of a bit, but it wasn't coming.
I don't know.
So yeah, there's a lot of like
50s, 40s.
a lot of it's an interesting slice of life with a supernatural spin that it uses to its advantage to tell stories about identity, discovery, and emotional conflict, which we all love.
Cool.
Emotional conflict. So going from one supernatural thing to another one indie to another.
Average $30 a piece.
We have Abbott #1, which was also on the blog that I review for, but I didn't review it. My boss Ronald Simmons reviewed it. So Abbott #1. Abbott #1 is the story of the only what year is it? It is. Let's take you to the 1970s, Frank. Taking you back to the 1970s. The only black reporter for a Detroit newspaper. I think it was a fictional Detroit newspaper.
70s era?
70s era.
Okay, cool.
The only black reporter for the Daily something. Elena Abbott.
Yep.
Elena.
What's the conflict with Elena Abbott?
Well, I told you the first one. She's the only black reporter for the Daily whatever.
Okay.
In 1970s. She's been penalized for. She did a story about police brutality that the higher ups of the paper that she works for didn't like.
Yep.
So she's been penalized for it. There is another supernatural element to this though. She dated a man from Senegal who kind of exposed her to a supernatural world and basically died to these like shadow guys.
Okay.
Shadow men. Yeah, like
Shadow man. Yes.
I think they call it. It's funny. We were talking about Frank and I were talking about mage earlier. I think they call them Umbra somethings, which is
right.
common mythological.
Right.
Yeah. So she has to deal with everyday racism by day, and then supernatural ghoulies by night, trying to report the truth in a town that doesn't want it. That's the cutting out the fat. Some good classic. Frank, I think you actually like the art. It's very like Bronze Age. Is sort of.
It's good. It's good.
There's sort of like when she gets near supernatural stuff, there's like a supernatural wave effect.
I'm just having
Very
a hard
Spider
time
sense.
wondering.
She have powers?
That's #1, right?
It's #1.
So what would you take? Did it draw you in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It wouldn't be in his picks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that concept. Let me see the cover. I'm glad that we're getting a review. $3-4.
Yeah, $3-4.
For me to drop $3-4 on that cover, would
It's
be
an investment.
hard.
It's an investment.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
well, especially old school guys like us.
Put that cover up.
Let's
do this. You see,
not everybody buys comics by cover anymore.
No,
there's so many people like Andrew out there.
Yeah.
This almost seems
Cover's important, though. I agree with Frank.
I want to make it say like okay. So I've got a budget. I make $22 an hour. I got a mortgage.
Yeah.
I got kids. I'm living that life. But I like to read comics, and I really like interesting comics, and I'll buy some different stuff. So I go into the comic store, and I see that on the shelf. Now, that's a $4 book, right? So I don't know that cover's drawing me in. So having Andrew review it and say, look, give it a shot is always cool.
Absolutely. That's why, yes.
That's why we do that. This is definitely a niche book for somebody who's looking for something different.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Well, comics are trying to do things different now.
Right. Well, they've been trying since the 80s.
Yes. Yeah.
There's great stuff that you can go all the way back.
Yeah.
I'm sure that this has a modern, switch and a commentary.
Oh, 72. It's 1972.
Okay, so in Detroit, right?
Detroit.
Yeah,
She's the only black reporter in Detroit.
I see that, and then remember we watched the show with the guys who started with
Milestone.
Milestone.
Yeah.
So you start to see that, and you wonder, are they going to sell enough? You hope a book like that succeeds.
I do.
If it's good, it should.
Well, so
hope,
the writer of this is Saladin Ahmed, who, fun fact, is a rising star at Marvel.
Cool.
Like, he did a run on Black Bolt recently. Like, Black Bolt has his own individual series now. That was very, very popular.
So
and now he's going.
He's a hot writer.
He's a hot writer right now. Well, he's a hot writer in relatively small time, because he basically did Exiles. Or no, sorry, he did Black Bolt, and then he did a Black Panther mini, I think. And now he's going on to Exiles with the X-Men books. So this is his first reaching out.
His personal, like a book on his own.
And it's really, really good.
I hope a book like this makes it. Now, the thing that's scary, you look at that book, and in these day and age, right, it's almost like you want to call that a liberal reader book. And that's so sad because it's not. It's entertainment. It's comic book.
Yes.
But we've become so... I think there's certain people without this review that wouldn't give that book a chance.
Absolutely not.
And it's a shame because I know Andrew takes it serious. Yeah. And I'm looking at the art, fine. But flip through that again.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not a fan. I'm reading Matt Wagner's Mage, and he always was short with his context, his wording.
Yes. There's a lot here.
There's a lot here, which means this guy took a lot of time to explain a lot. And that's indicative of old Marvel and DC.
And I will say those about Wagner. The reason that I think he is also a visual artist
or lazy
visual writer.
Or lazy.
Oh my God.
All right. I mean, you can go either way.
He wants to tell it visually.
I get that. But my point is,
I'm with you. I prefer exposition.
I grew up reading early Marvel, DC. We talked about how in the 40s and even into the 60s, they actually did pages of stories without art. In comic books, just tales, strange tales, things of that nature. So when I see a lot of context, it draws me to the book. Yeah. I hope that Andrew will keep us abreast if this book stays around.
I think that there's a really strong. Now, on Frank's point though about politicizing and politics and all that other stuff,
you get where I see that as a liberal book.
I do, but I'm going to actually feed into it, and then I'm going to flip it a little bit.
Okay.
Because to your credit, because of the political climate that we are in right now, I absolutely believe this was written with a modern context. He's telling a vintage story. Yeah, right. I'm not criticizing him for it.
No, me neither.
I'm doing the opposite. I think that a lot of those themes, especially when we're talking about the obstruction of truth and the obstruction of truth in relation to marginalized groups, I think that there's a lot of interesting stuff there that
Absolutely.
I think that Ahmed takes advantage of. So he's a smart guy.
Social commentary.
Social commentary.
Which we started with comics in the underground in the 60s and into the early 70s, and then by the time I was reading them, you're messing up the back of that.
It's his book.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm with you.
There was what's number one? You want to keep it, what was that?
It could be the next week too.
I was just going to say, you robbed me of my thought.
Another book that you would have never bought because of the cover.
Sweet.
We used to make fun of the cover.
Until it went to $50.
Wait till you guys see my pick for
Read Sweet Tooth. Apparently it's a classic, a modern day classic.
It really? Well, we'll get to Jeff Lemire in a minute. Right. So wait, you want me to grade this though, right?
Yeah, out of what?
Yeah, so I gave Moonstruck a wait, hold on. This was messing me up. Because on You Don't Read Comics, we do letter grades, but I'm doing the number grades here. So can I flip it? Can I start doing letter grades?
This is your tale.
Yeah, so sure. I did B+ for this. I think,
which is about an 8.0.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 8.0.
So Moonstruck would be off my list, to be honest with you. When you say 8.0 and $5, $4, again, I'm thinking about that guy from the financial.
I absolutely agree with you.
You know what I mean?
You got it.
Okay, guys, let me hear about
it. I would go with it.
Okay, so you're gonna give it a 9.0 or better,
something like that.
Okay, really, Drew, are you gonna start reading it?
This is a 4-issue miniseries.
We didn't say that. You need to say that.
I forgot. Well, no, because Boom does it funny. Because they
like that.
They do miniseries with the potential for ongoings.
Right, and then they end up in trades. Right,
exactly.
How much interest is in there?
Yeah.
I think it's my wife who's going to kill me for hanging up on her earlier. I'll be right back.
All right. That's Abbott. It's really, really good. I noticed that there could be a bit of a trite thing about me bringing two supernatural spin comics right after another.
Hey man, if it's good, it's good.
And that's exactly my point with Moon. I'm illustrating this with Moonstruck in my larger review. Is that tropes and classic storytelling conventions are only as old and outdated as you let them be. It's ultimately up to you to make them new. And if you have that capability, I think both of these do a great job of making werewolves and supernatural detectives relevant again. So I think that's great on both ends for that. But the real winner, and like you said, there is bias. I'm sure someone else would think that Abbott was the best book of the week, and they would have every right to believe
everything is relative. It's all taste.
Relevant, and that's what Transformers 13...
I say Camaro, you say Hemi.
Transformers 13 was my pick of the week. If you're going to get one book, it would be Transformers 13.
I can't believe that.
Well,
looks great cover.
Well, actually, More Than Meets the Eye was a good book for a while, right?
So, well, here's the thing. This is basically More Than Meets the Eye. They rebranded 12 issues.
What do we got here? All right, what do we got on the cover? Let's just
So that's Swerve, my spirit animal.
Yep. So he is he is Swerve, and who's the blue guy that's?
Well, she's a lady.
No. Swerve is who's the other truck that's like him? He's the same mold. He's the same.
Outback. No, not Outback.
No.
It's not.
Outback and Braun are the same mold.
Right.
Swerve is the second mold of the one that has blue.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, let's think about that.
In my head.
All right. So anyway.
Yeah, it'll come to me. Is it not?
Is that RC he's with?
No, that's she's a new character. Her name's Anode.
Okay.
And she's her backstory is a little complicated. Well, okay, so I said this is the one book to pick of the week. That's a bit of a hard premise because Transformers Lost Light. One of the reasons is mine and so many others' favorite. Among our favorite. This is one of my favorite books that I pull. And the reason for that is because it rewards its readers. It is continuity heavy, and it does require you to pay attention from issue to issue. But that can be so rewarding, and this is after the last three arcs of Lost Light. Breather issue. This is basically all of the primary cast just having hijinks with each other.
Okay.
The reason
not relevant to the overall arcing plot of everything.
Kind of because they imply that someone died off screen, but I feel like that's a trap. I feel like that's
it's a trap.
It's a trap. It's a trap. Look them up. I think $25. You can't do that and expect me to not to do that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Speaking of dying off screen.
Wait. Oh, what?
Akbar.
Oh no, we saw the Stop it.
Speaking of dying off screen.
Stop it. I don't.
Wow.
Admiral Akbar having a 5-minute death sequence for Admiral Akbar would have made that movie so much better in your eyes.
No, making him a hero.
Rogue One trivia question.
Oh sure.
What was the name of the ship, which I love, that crashed into the Star Destroyer to break the shield?
Wait, the class of the actual
I know
name.
you know.
Yeah.
It's a Hammerhead, right?
Hammerhead what?
It's a Corellian Corvette or
Hammerhead, yeah, awesome. Yeah. I thought that was so cool.
Was that the original Tantive 4? That one?
I don't know.
Talk about Transformers, gentlemen.
That I don't know. Okay.
Talk about Transformers.
All right.
So Breather issue, there's been a lot of drama, a lot of action.
Rated in, Andrew.
Of course.
We don't want to go near Star Wars.
Oh my god. No, you guys, go ahead.
Rated in.
No, yeah, Transformers.
All right.
More Than Meets the Eye.
Anyway, Lost Light, Breather issue. We've had 3 really intense arcs, so it's really nice to see this very lovable cast. All of these characters have become fan favorites, by the way. This is like the fan book. This is the fan wanking book. This is the
fan wanking.
Fan wanking.
Wow! And then we're gonna go see the football game in England. The football game.
The
wanking.
Oh, okay.
Rein it in, gentlemen.
This is written by a British gentleman.
He said
all right.
It's written by a British gentleman. Fan service all over.
So it's a wanker of a book.
It's a real good ribber. That's what they would call it.
Oh, it's all right.
Well, that's
Australian. Come on.
So, bringing it back home. This book is so entertaining, and the colors by Joanna Le Fou.
Who? Say that quick.
Fouent. You read that.
You have to research your.
I don't know how to. I'm French. No, I'm French. People call me Andrew Magazine, and I'm fine with it.
No, but you're doing a review here. People expect you to know that it's Marie.
I know how to spell her name. I just know how to say it. She's a beautiful colorist, and her colors are very striking. And it helps set the emotion.
Okay, I need to interject here. Sure. I need to cut you. He said she's a beautiful colorist. Okay, I'm going to make a bold statement.
Oh, here we go.
It's like the old days of when somebody was an inker. Yes, they were a tracer. A beautiful colorist. You know what a beautiful colorist is? It's somebody who gets a computer program.
You're so wrong.
You know what? My 14-year-old
color theory is so important.
No.
Yes, no.
They get a chart. And they go on a computer and they Well,
I'm not having this. I have absolute respect for colorists. I have absolute respect for colorists.
The colorists of today are equal to the inkers. They don't.
No,
they're tracers.
They're
tracers and colorists.
It's so great that you're quoting a line from a Kevin Smith movie.
Exactly. Well, without a doubt. I mean, Justin, let me go with me on this, okay? I draw the picture. I do all the work, and you go behind me with ink. And somehow you're considered an artist.
I'm not talking about an inker. I'm talking about colorists.
Now let's go one step further. Here's the art that was done on a computer today. Unlike, there's a lot of that which is probably done with that book. I'm looking at it. It was done on a computer. There's no actual page of art. And I hand it off to Marie Lefranc, right?
Joanna LaFontaine.
Pepe Le Pew's daughter. And she goes over there and she colors it on the color wheel. Okay? What are they making? $7 an hour?
I don't know, frankly. But I would hope you're wage.
Justin, I need you to chime in here, man.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, listen.
Take a stand. Be bold.
Yeah, I mean, this is
it's important. It's important.
Justin and I have both been to Rome. We've both been to the Vatican. We both tears rolled down our eyes when we looked at
the Sistine Chapel.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's a good point. So, pretend the Sistine Chapel was a sketch. Someone just drew it.
Okay.
And then someone else comes and colored it.
Yes.
Who's the real artist there?
Well, without a doubt. But see, you'll never hear me say that the colorist on this classic isn't an artist and it's a work of art. But what I am saying with today's technology, when you get on your Mac 50,
yeah, it's hard to go out of the lines.
That's full crap, if you do what you're suggesting, I could show you books, and they're bland, they're drab, they're by the number.
So there probably are some better
computer Mac players
than others.
No,
so
it's
listen,
not that.
So in between playing Call of Duty, they do their job and color books.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know her personally, but I'm offended.
Okay, well, I challenge you to present to me something, whether it be writing or on a computer at next week's meeting. I challenge you to show me that a comic artist colorer is not the equivalent of making coffee at Dunkin' Donuts.
Sure.
It might be harder to make a cup of coffee right.
Okay, but here's the thing, Frank.
Woo!
Here's the thing, Frank. I would have it next week, but I don't even know if you're going to be there next week.
Well, you tell me I will be there.
Guys.
All right, good.
Right, let's bring it back around.
That's the challenge. Well, no,
the challenge is still there if he's not here.
Well, yeah.
Throw down and prove to me that Miss Marie Lefranc, she's playing video games while she's doing her job. I want that gig. That is, come on, man. Look at that. They've got a color wheel. Show me what look at that cover, Justin. Skylar is now an official colorer for IDW. She's got a Mac.
I hope you're having a blast right now, man. I have so much respect.
You're giving too much respect in my. I want to be proven wrong.
Great, and we'll see. We'll see.
All right, so you're not really sure. It may just be a Mac and a spinning wheel. Remember the color wheel in art class?
I know. I disagree completely. Well, that's the building block. That's the equivalent of saying.
Listen. Here's a great example. Okay, I went to.
Was How Now Brown Cow working hard?
Well, I went to the Smithsonian in the 90s, and I saw all the vintage Star Wars. They had a Star Wars exhibit, and I saw Star Destroyers the size of this house, and that's real deal shit. I saw things that were amazing. Yeah. It devastates me to realize that stuff, that art, that somebody took kits, hundreds and hundreds of model kits off of shelves and built these things, and they no longer exist, and they're on a computer. So the guy who knows what a Star Destroyer looks like and then does it on his Mac, he's not an artist. He's a tracer.
That is
no. The talent and creativity you have. Look, the first Pixar film was amazing, but the guy who colored Woody's hat, he was just a guy on a Mac.
Well, no, there is so many. You're two different things.
Well, it's worse with comics.
No, it's two completely. Okay. When you're talking about a movie, you're talking about a village of people.
Sir,
you're talking about an entire.
You have offended my honor.
You have, and
the challenge is brought.
The glove.
Yes.
All right, guys.
All right.
Hey, let Andrew be.
All right, great.
Back into it.
So
it's it. Where I don't even know where the hell we were.
well, I did.
You need the grade. What's the grade on?
A+. A+. Yeah.
A+.
I loved it. I love you guys.
How many issues?
He was laughing so hard. This is 13 in of 13. It's
so it's
ongoing.
final.
It's an ongoing.
Oh, it's ongoing.
No. 13 of 13 published. My bad.
Okay.
I'm very nettled.
That's okay.
I'm very nettled.
You're prickled.
No,
it's funny though. I like it.
We'll see.
All right, enough of the challenge.
Great.
So it's an A+.
It's such a great book. I really recommend that series. And you know what? At the very least, we can get you More Than Meets the Eye, Volume 1 on trade paperback.
Which is 1 to 5, probably.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, More Than Meets the Eye there's a ton of those, right?
That's what I'm saying. Well, this is the latest installment of that.
But More Than Meets the Eye was way past 13.
They started
over
yeah.
or something.
Yeah. No. It was. I told you they rebranded.
Yeah. Okay.
Lost Light number 1.
Right.
So, but the first trade is out for these.
Yeah, basically.
Probably the second one soon.
Probably like the first 8. Huh?
Because it's only 1 to 13 right
It was 50 issues of More Than Meets the Eye.
Right,
And then they rebrand of Lost Light number 1.
Right.
And so
does the story continue? Is it?
Yeah, it's one continue. It's
Oh,
the same
okay.
cast.
All right.
It's the same cast, same. For the most part, they keep interchanging artists. And this is Joanna Lufuente is
Stellar
artist.
Stellar colorist. I'm telling you
Stellar
right now.
colorist. Now, okay, she replaced. I'm so exhausted right now. She replaced my really favorite colorist. I was actually pretty hurt because Josh Burcham was the colorist before her.
I know Josh. He works at Taco Bell.
Favorite colorist is kind of like saying.
You know they can draw them too, right?
Isn't favorite colorist kind of like saying favorite bass player?
It's oh my god.
Yeah. Listen, Andrew's going to bring up. I want to bring in some of what's his name's work. The guy literally stole with today's technology this great X-Men artist who used to do. He did Songer. What was his name?
Wait, Adam Hughes or sorry.
Yeah,
Greg Horn. Or Greg Land.
Greg Land. Okay, Greg Land literally went.
He wasn't the colorist. He was the artist.
I get that. He literally. That's how bad it is now. Greg Land. Worked on an independent book that I loved, only to find out that all the pictures in there had been stolen from swimsuit issues and put onto this art. And
they recolored actual photographs.
He actually traced.
He traced
photographs.
Photographs.
Right.
It's awful.
Yeah.
He literally did.
So when somebody tells me that today's technology is not taking mediocre people and turning them into, let's say, colorists, I don't know Fuente's there, but my point is today's technology is allowing Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, John Romita, all the colorists, Artie Simak, who did all the lettering. Yeah. Those were talented, hardworking people.
And I disagree with that.
There's got to be some talented, hardworking people.
There are. But there's a lot of bad.
What you're saying,
colorist on a Mac
what you're
is
saying,
not talent.
What you're saying is when someone did like the first pet painting and the first sketching. And some guy going like, "Oh, that's not written on Sanskrit, so I don't acknowledge it." As,
no. Greg Land is a great example of.
He's a hack.
Exactly.
He's a hack.
There's more hacks.
Stop. Because here's the question, and this is it for it. Before he was found out, was he considered a hack?
No. His arm was blown.
So I wanted to know.
He was not.
Okay. So any wrap up on this tumultuous Fridays with Andrew? This is Fridays with Andrew, not Fridays with Frank making Andrew upset.
Have you seen his Cranky Awards yet?
I haven't.
No, my God. All right, let's leave him alone and get to the Crankies.
The Crankies. So
Andrew, let's go Zen for a second. Into the nose, out through the mouth.
Well, I'm actually vindicated because this is best new ongoing.
Okay.
This is best ongoing that started with number 1, and it's Royal City by Jeff Lemire of Sweet Tooth fame.
Oh, you could see the sweet tooth on that cover.
This is his style.
Where's the horns?
This is you're not going to see any because
it's his pastel-y kind of.
Well, yeah, these are painted.
Oh, there you go.
So
watercolor.
Well, there you go. A little bit of talent.
I can't. I don't even know what the.
Stop.
I don't even know what the. Are you kidding me? He misses it. He misses this every Wednesday.
Last Friday was boring. I watched it. It was boring.
He misses this.
Real quick.
He's
taking the books out. He's taking the book. Real quick. Take a spin over here, Justin.
Alex Ross.
Take a look at this. Real quick. Over here.
Oh, okay, no.
Please.
Emily said, "Better move all the action figures before someone flips the table."
All in good jest. All in good jest.
Royal City.
I've never seen you quite so hyped. Have you?
No, you're perturbing him.
A very relatable.
Let's talk
story.
about this.
Royal City is about the patriarch. Oh my gosh! I'm gonna read that.
Bob didn't say anything. Bob's watching.
I'm gonna read it later. Royal City is a very relatable story about what happens in a. Oh my gosh!
Wait, I gotta cut in. A very well-known artist, inker, writer, Bob Perchecka, is watching this show. And Bob, I need your input. My thing is that computers and not actually drawing pages and coloring them and inking them has hurt the industry. And it's a lot of.
I'm sure he's watched it. And he'll let us know.
It's let a lot of less talented people into the industry. Give me your take, Bob.
Well, there were even thieves back in their day.
Oh yeah.
There's a local
maybe
guy.
we'll invite Bob in.
We're so all right. Hold on. All right.
Anyway, to the Crankies.
Royal City.
We need to do a whole different conversation.
Seriously, no. Royal City, best new ongoing. The patriarch of a family in a basically it's become a ghost town. It was a steel town, but you know how that went in America. So now it's a ghost town called Royal City. The patriarch of a particular family has a stroke and is in a coma, which results the oldest member of their son to come back home. He's been a writer in L.A. He's having a bad spot with his wife, who's an actress, and so he basically kind of comes back home to see his family and kind of who stayed in a state of disarray, and like the ghosts of this family kind of haunting.
Is this all watercolored?
Yeah, basically.
That has its own vibe. It's very.
This is why Sweet Tooth was such a hit.
Did it look like this?
Basically,
yeah. Yeah, it looks a lot like Sweet
Tooth. It looks like it was left in the sun for a week.
I red Sweet Tooth in the closet of the store.
Bob said abso-freaking-lutely.
Did he really?
Yeah.
All right.
Guy in the industry.
Sure. All right. So. All right. Anyway, no disrespect to Bob.
No, of course not.
No, of course not.
No disrespect to Bob.
We've seen some of Bob's work.
Yes.
We were all blown away by it.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, he is an artist.
It's gorgeous.
Does he use a Mac?
No, dude. Bob does it.
He might now.
Sometimes he has to work on it, from what I understand.
I have a friend who's animated shorts, Frank, all by himself, all with that computer that you're. Never mind.
Let's have this conversation.
Right. We're going to have a conversation
with
about
some comic artists
computers.
here and stuff like that.
I think just because something's easier doesn't make it cheaper. I
disagree.
I disagree completely.
So anyway, let's continue with the Crankies.
All right, anyway.
Cranky for best! Starting at number 1!
Best
new ongoing.
Jeff Lemire, Royal City.
Sweet Tooth 2.
Well, again, this is Sweet Tooth 4.
Bob's all by hand and brush.
Great. No, and he's great at what he does. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
All right, back to Sweet Tooth.
No, you guys are so adamant about being on this.
I'm just listen. When somebody comments, I want them to know that we're looking at their comments.
And we all respect Bob as he's been in the industry. And I was making a statement based on what I saw.
Okay.
I'm not in the industry.
Right.
I had never had a conversation with Bob about it, neither of you. It's just my take that there's something being taken away from what our industry.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
We've done it.
All right, go ahead.
No, no, it's fine.
Guys, let's get the Crankies out of
I'm trying to talk. So what makes Royal City's actually on a lot of people's like top series. It resonated with so many different people.
All right.
Like a lot of the themes that I hate to kind of, we're talking about like a very politicized world, so it's hard to avoid talking about politics.
Almost everything does.
Yes, but again, you're talking
just
about,
like in the 60s.
You're talking about a place that's been hurt by a lack of industry and isn't sure what to go forward with the same thing. Yes, totally.
Yeah.
And how that's relating to a family.
We're closed, Bob.
With a huge. Oh, he wants to come in now.
We're closed.
All right, great. Hit with. Tell
him we want to have him in.
We will. He heard you, I'm sure.
Hit with, the town and the family are sort of,
the nucleus.
The American dream has...
Well, no, but it's not even so, like, you have the oldest daughter, Tara, who is, she's basically a realtor of sorts, and she's trying to take the steel mill and convert it into a resort. Because she thinks that would bring back, industry, it would bring back industry, it would create a whole bunch of new construction jobs.
Right.
It would create whole new staffing jobs for the resort. The problem is her husband's the foreman of the steel mill, so he doesn't like the idea that his wife is basically going to,
usurp
his throne as provider, but also leave him without a job.
How is this comic doing?
Hugely successful.
Wow.
Hugely successful.
Hearing that story, would that grab you?
No.
No. But wow.
But it's cool to know that people they don't listen. It has to be more about strong people punching other strong people.
Love it.
Yes.
Right?
I agree. And this is that book to a T. And again, I don't want to give in too much away because there's kind of stuff. But yeah, it's the story about a family who are. No, I'm doing the very generalized thing. Yep. A family who is broken in a town that is broken, and they're all trying to figure out where to go. What's step 2? What's the next step, or really step 5, because they've been locked on step 1.
And how is this available now?
It's through. I'm sorry, we've been in the middle of this.
Has she been outside?
We'll just do this and we'll call
we'll just do this. Yeah, so it's so
looks
basically
like a young version of your mom. It really does.
Yeah. So there's basically one trade in. There's one trade in now. I think the second trade's coming out now, and you can still buy the singles.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it's been. This is one of the 9th issue was the latest issue to come out.
So and it sounds interesting. So this is built on the foundation of seriously on Moore and Gaiman and the brothers that did so that's where this is coming from, because that hit in the late 80s, early 90s that we're going to take this medium
Mouse
Mouse
stuff like that.
So the fact that this finds an audience makes me happy.
Well, the fact that all 3 books have been from smaller.
Yes, this was the Indie Week.
Right.
One of them is Transformers.
And indies books are doing very, a lot of following with indies.
I like that.
So do I.
You're not buying them for value.
Well, it shows a lot of promise for the industry.
Well, they're buying them for content, not value. It's not a variant cover of Royal City.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, honestly,
interests me.
If you want, I can lend it to you, man.
I'm bad with condition, man. They end up in the bathtub with me.
Well, that's fine. That's where I read this stuff. It's
matter of fact, the next Fridays with Andrew is going to come from
in the bath.
Yeah, it's
live in the bath.
So he doesn't have to come here and get berated.
Yeah,
there was no berating.
I know.
Anyway, but yeah, it's Royal City. It's a very emotional title. I kind of use my crying as a barometer of how I've enjoyed an issue. On this segment in the past,
tears.
I do that with sex.
Yeah. You can get away with that one, huh?
Royal City has gotten a few tears out of me.
Awesome.
It's just it's a really great, and maybe it's because they're the family of the I forget what they're called, the Petersons or something. Their family's a big family. I come from a big family, so there's some emotional connection there. But yeah, I think that there's something in this for everybody. An early deaths of families. There was drug-related stuff.
Yep.
Bad marriage, adultery. And again,
don't give away too much.
Again, I'm just saying themes.
Okay.
I haven't said who.
Well, we know that dad cheats on the mom now, and somebody's doing heroin.
You'd be surprised.
All right.
Anyway,
all right.
Okay.
See, you gave it away.
I didn't say anything. Anyway. So Royal City's one of the best titles I'm reading right now. Very, very emotional read, and easily my new number 1 for the
Crankies.
Yeah, for the Crankies.
Cranky number 1.
Speaking of the Crankies, we will be closer to Oscar season now that the Oscars are announced. We're going to sit around and do our Oscar picks, the 4 of us, and talk about movies we've seen. We're trying to watch them all right now. And not that you give a crap of what we think, but we don't care. We want to talk about it anyway, because we're very self-important.
Before we go,
look at this poster.
Hey, look at me. I'm here.
Oh, I just turned it around.
Oh, so rude.
No.
Okay.
There she is.
Hi, I'm here.
Penelope's been here. She's been
go back.
holding down the fort.
Taking care of business.
Yeah.
Sometimes in a collection, some of the things that you don't expect to be the coolest, or even things that really don't have a whole lot of value, end up being really cool. You want to see these. You didn't see these. 30-year anniversary. Bagley did it. I don't know who colored it, but whoever they were fantastic. Very cool poster, right?
Yeah, super cool.
And there's a lot of people now who would love this in their collection, because these were sent to comic book stores, put up on a wall.
This was never hung.
No, this was never hung. This is a really cool piece. Like I said, sometimes you get surprises in collections.
Was that a Bagley you said? Or
yeah, it's a Bagley.
Fantastic.
Wait a minute. If it survives my folding process. There you go. Just a cool thing.
He's still working too.
This was, he's a good artist.
Yeah.
This is the thing that blew me away in this collection, especially with everything that's going on in the Marvel universe.
He does digitally now, though.
Most probably do.
Yeah.
Probably did.
It's easier.
Yeah, it's cool.
This was in there. This was a promo-only poster.
Wow. Look at that
Talk about the
poster.
great event comic covers.
Wow.
Event comics.
Yeah, one of the great event comics.
And one of the
George Perez, Starlin wrote it. And again, Starlin owns this theme.
Yep.
He came up with it in Marvel.
Oh man, if only the movies could have Silver Surfer and the rest of it. Is that Adam Warlock up there?
No, that's Mephisto.
That's Mephisto.
Mephisto,
So,
they got Death over here.
Fun fact, really quick art thing. I'm sorry, we're trying to get past this, but George Perez actually was drawing this concurrently with Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh wow.
He was doing the two most monumental events at the same time, but he couldn't. He ended up Crisis on Infinite Earths ended up being his favorite child because he had to work for that more than this, so they had some stand-in artists for that.
Well, here's the thing, and if Bob's still watching, he can tell you.
He rolled.
Okay, if you know George's stuff, George was slow. And you can see why he was slow. He was a slow artist. Look at the detail.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It really shows out. Here, and this we also got this. It's just so cool to see early promo stuff for key books. If this was a 1940s Batman promo poster, we'd all be like dropping. So just this stuff is so rare.
It's so great.
It just doesn't come in. And the fact that it's not all stapled up.
Yeah.
Pristine and nice.
Yes.
Super cool.
Somebody's going to walk in here and be thrilled to get this from us.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, I want to say goodbye. And Bob, thank you for your input.
Yeah.
And I want to. Andrew got me interested in a couple of them books.
He did. All right. As always, if you're interested in any of his books, give a call. We'll put you in touch with Andrew, and we'll put you on our pull list, or we'll get you some back issues, we'll get you some trades. Sorry for Frank ruining Andrew's good time.
I did not ruin this good time.
This was a doubly long issue of Friday the
It was, but there was also a
only half an hour
there was
long.
also a cranky thrown in there.
Yeah,
That's
just the one.
and that's some arguing.
Because there was no time for anything else, but it's fine.
Yeah. We'll be back soon. We got to go do some work and eat food. Starving.
Food, yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Peace out.